I'm with Dr. Alveda King, the niece of slain civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King. She is the director for African American outreach for the pro-life group Priests for Life, based in Staten Island, New York, directed by my longtime friend and associate, Dr. Frank Pavone, or rather, Father Frank Pavone. I want to give you as much time in this to muse. We've discussed in other segments the disconnect between the pro-life sentiment of much of the African American community and the vote and the party line sense of I go into that booth and I'm going to vote for a Democrat no matter what. Just like some people do it with Republicans. And my line to people is put principle first, put life first, not party. My study of the allegiance of the Democratic Party to the Democratic Party of African American leaders shows that it's a fairly recent phenomenon, way more Republican devotion for the first 100 years after slavery. But that there is an incentive here, whether it's various government programs, fealty to LBJ. I mean, what are you up against historically in the last 40 years? And what will it take to get people to put life ahead of party allegiance?
The African American community, of which I'm glad to be a part, we are a very loyal people group. And once we're convinced that our loyalties belong somewhere, it's hard to get us to move. Prior to the exodus into the Democratic Party, most African Americans were Republicans. And of course that changed when President Kennedy was running for office. And my grandfather, Dr. Martin Luther King Sr., was trying to get help, and his wife, Coretta King, to get my uncle released from jail. And Richard Nixon actually wanted to help him, and his advisors said no. President Kennedy was not so excited about helping him, but his brother, Bobby, and other advisors said, you've got to help this man. And so the media captured that, and Kennedy became that hero of the African American community and much of the American groups of voters. And so the votes of the African Americans emerged into the Democratic Party and has primarily been there out of loyalty without full understanding. And so, for instance, many people...
Do you think, forgive me for interrupting, do you think that there is also a connection to LBJ and the Great Society programs? In other words, what level is, because you're right, and I've covered this on the show, that the history of it is when President Kennedy, who was running, helped get your uncle out of jail, that was a huge seminal turning point.
That did that.
And then the next one was the Great Society programs, which gave the voters a financial interest in remaining loyal to the party. Yeah. What place do you feel that plays, and given whatever place it plays, how difficult will it be to be overcome?
Well, without understanding, people just embrace those programs. Like 50 years ago, in the year of 2014, it's been 50 years since the Civil Rights Law was passed. That bill became law, and yet, you see, today in 2014, the youngest and weakest, the little babies in the womb, have no civil rights even after all these years. And then all of the carism programs that should be connected to the African American community and every community in need, there are so many things attached to it. For instance, right now they're saying you can't have health care in America unless you give away free birth control. And that's the HHS mandate. And I say, you know, my daughters don't need free birth control. They don't need easy access to abortion. They need good education, good values, the opportunity to contribute positively to society. So to tell my daughters that their wombs need to be invaded with chemicals and surgeries and killing babies in order for them to be successful, that is something that amazes me, that any part of our community will embrace that.
President Obama promotes it.
HHS mandate, pushed by the health care bill of President Obama.
Well, what do you think it's going to take to break that loyalty? And loyalty, I remember James Carville wrote the book Stickin', where he talked about his fealty to President Clinton in spite of Clinton's, difficulties.
Didn't matter what he did.
Right, I'm your friend, I'm sticking with you. And I'm
loyalty,
right,
misplaced loyalty.
So what will it take to...
I believe that truth, education, and I love President Obama. I've been to the White House twice, told him I'm praying for him. Do not agree with his policies, do not embrace those policies. And so I'm giving the African American community this thought. It's okay to love the president. It's okay to pray for the president. It's not okay to encourage the president to continue to support harmful policies by just giving him a free ride with a vote.
Well, the ride illustration is, if you say to me, you're going to rob a bank and you're going to buy groceries for your mom and get some medicine for your kids, and I say, well, hop in, and then you go and rob the bank and shoot somebody and then go get the groceries and go get the medication. If you get caught and I get arrested too, I'm an accessory to the murder. And I could say, well, I didn't support the murder. I just wanted to help get groceries and medication.
Yeah.
So
But your responsibility and obligation would be to say, you don't have to rob a bank to feed your children. Let's find another way to do it, and let's do that together.
Right, and I ain't taking you to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the vote. The vote is to take the person to office, whether it be the White House, Senate, wherever it is, and then they have the power to commit the crime against the babies.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, how do we make this connection that jars the human conscience that our vote is the political currency of our ethics?
Well, we must say to the African American community or the other large people groups, over 50% of Catholics voted for President Obama.
It's a crime.
Most women voted for the president. And so we say now, hold him accountable. Ask him to do something that won't kill us. Ask him to do something that will heal us.
I'd like to go a step further and say you cannot ethically vote for this person, because if you vote for them and give them the authority and the power to commit these crimes, you share in the guilt of the crime like I would share in taking somebody to a bank to rob the bank.
I understand that one.
Yeah. It's been a delight to have you, and I hope your new book, King Rules, is a smash success. And I'll give you one of mine if you'll give me one of yours.
I'll get one to you.
All right. I'll give you one of mine off the air.
Thank
My
you.
latest book, Dragon Slayer. This is shameless self-promotion. Buy her book, King Rules.
Buy both books.
God bless you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
I want to invite you to go to our website. Almost every book that I have ever written is available as a PDF online for free. We have a ton of products, training materials, tools that are available for you for free. All we ask for is that you give us your email address. That's it, so that we can stay in touch with you, and yes, from time to time, ask you to support this work. So I'm inviting you, go to the website. Now, for those of you who say, well, I don't want a PDF, I want a real book. You can get one of my books. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and then give whatever gift you want. And if you can't afford anything, we'll send you the book for free. Just pay shipping and handling. Why are we doing all this? Because we want to change the direction of the country, and we need to raise up a fresh generation of warriors to do that. That's why we have this tool. I invite you, go to the website, see for yourself. I have been a leader in the pro-life movement for 30 years. And sadly, we have not prevailed in our goal to make it a criminal act to kill an unborn baby. There's reasons why we have failed. I wrote this book, A Humble Plea, to Catholic bishops, to evangelical clergy, and to lay people, explaining where we went wrong and what we have to do to prevail. We've made this available as a PDF online for free. I encourage you to go and download your own copy.